your next team, Prachi Sharma and her teammates for the roleplay presentation of Lamport's mutual exclusion algorithm. Over to Prachi Sharma.
Good afternoon, everyone. So here we are just taking a small scenario and we try to explain the Lamport mutual exclusion through 4 processes: P1, I am the P1, P2, then we have P3, and then we have P4. So the case is that she is our robot, which everyone wants to do handshake with her. She is so popular that she's considered as a critical section, and everyone wants to handshake with her. So we'll explain through this Lamport mutual exclusion. So let's start.
So I am the critical section. So the processor who wants to execute the critical section, the processor will send the request to the other processor.
Okay, to explain the Lamport mutual exclusion, we will take 3 cases. First case is when only one processor one person want to do handshake with the robot. So I am the processor P1. I want to do handshake with the robot. The critical section I want to utilize. So the first step which I have to do is that I'll send a request message to all the other 3 processors available there. So okay, so we got a message request from processor P2. So here, processor P2, P3 and P4 don't want to utilize the critical section or doesn't want to handshake with the robot right now. So we will send a reply back to the processor 1 so she can get a handshake with the famous robot. As none except me, no one want to utilize the critical session, so I can go and utilize the critical session, or I can have a handshake with her. Okay, so after utilizing the critical session, I have to send the release request to everyone so that if they want to do any other procedure or they want to talk, they can utilize it. Okay, so this was the case 1 when only one processor wanted to utilize the critical section. We'll take the case 2 where 2 processors at the same time want to utilize the critical session. So we'll see that scenario. I'm P2 as I want to utilize the critical session. So I will send a request to every other processor. Even I want to have a handshake with the robot, so even I am also sending the request messages to all the processors.
So here P2 has less timestamp. So P2 will execute the first and then P3.
As I got the reply from every other process, now I will utilize the critical section. Now, critical session, I have utilized the critical session. I will send a release message to every other process. As all the processes are now free of the critical section is free of any work, so all the processes gonna send the reply. I am getting the reply message from all the processes. Now I got the reply message from all the processes, so I can have the handshake with the robot. Now I am done with my handshake, so I am sending the release messages back to the processors. Okay, so the last case 3, where all the 4 processors are a big fan of this robot and they all want to do handshake at the same time. So we'll see that case.
Making reply or making a
So here, consider which processor has less time spent, utilize the critical section first, rather than deeply before and before.
So as I'm having a less timestamp, so I'll get the reply first so that I can handshake with the robot. So as I got a reply from all other processes, so I can utilize the critical section first. So now I have done with utilizing the critical section. I have done the handshake. So I can send the release message to all other processes. So now they can head through the handshakes.
Now, as the critical section is free, now I will get the reply message to all the other processes to access the critical section. Now I want to utilize the critical section, so I will send it. Now I have got the reply message from all the processes. Now I am gonna do a handshake with the robot. Now I have got the reply message from all the processes. Now I am gonna do a handshake with the robot. I have completed my handshake, so I am gonna send the release message. So now I will utilize the critical session, and as I go through every other process. Now I will send the release message to every other process.
At the last, I'm the only left one, so I'll get the request reply messages from all the other leftover processors. As I got the reply from all of the processor, I can utilize the critical session and can have a handshake with the example. Okay, so after I've utilized the critical session, I'll release so that the other people can utilize the critical session. So this was the Lamport mutual exclusion. Now you want to ask any question?
Yes, audience, questions?
What sort of algorithm this robot is based on?
Robert, she was playing the role of critical session. So critical session is the place where we can have the shared resources and we can utilize one resource
नहीं
we can
तुमने
have at the time.
रोबोट बनाया ना तो कैसे बनाया वो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं.
On the third case,
Case 3. Yeah.
over the process, first see the key.
Yeah.
So you were the last person, right?
Yeah.
So why you want to take the reply and request? You were the last person, so just go ahead and
So every processor or everyone have to follow the 3n minus 1 formula for everyone. So the last one also have to follow this formula of that request, reply and release. So at the last also I need to follow that.
Any other question, guys? So here is my observation. It's the role play vendor. You have handled process IDs, request, release, critical section, selection, all. Minor issues that everybody should the cards to the audience. Probably the techniques are concentrating on playing the role. But it's also important that you have to show the sequence process. The audience get a feel that yes, this is the first session. And especially I like the card that you made for the request. That is the actual scenario. If the request means you are sending the process ID from the action. That is a good point. However, initially you forgot to show the process IDs. Probably you do not have a separate card showing process IDs. You made a single card. So initially you were showing process ID and timestamp. So I got confused. So the timestamp is fixed. That is one observation. fundamental issues that is relevant to this question also. The Lamport algorithm says that you have to make a request, then you have to act. And it is not necessary that only one process can make a request, the other process can also make a request. But how it is resolved based on the time frame. So you have to send in a request, that is done, that is made done. But the reply, you made it in a sequence after completing the critical section. It's not so. The reply can be sent immediately. Whether you got the critical section or not, whether you are going to enter into the section or not, it is your responsibility. The moment you get a reply from any process, send a reply. Send a reply. That is your responsibility. That part is missing. So all the process has to send a reply message to the requesting process. Right? And the process has to decide to execute the shaking hand. After you receive all the reply, condition number 1, that is done. Condition number 2 is you have to check the timestamp. If your timestamp is the lowest timestamp, I mean that is your request is on the top of the queue.
She said that people is having less.
Yes, that's all. But the sending of reply has been delayed by other processes. After one process completing the critical section. That is not actually.
Sir, one more thing. Like, I don't know if it's already covered or not, but they. Yeah, sir. Like, just correct me if I'm wrong. They are sending like time stamps. No, sir. They didn't mention any time stamp. Like P1 can have less time than P2. Like they covered all three topics, but they were going on in sequence. Like P1 and P2, they are sending requests, but P1 is going first because.
Kind of fixed. It is not necessary that people always get a timestamp of P1 and P2 get a timestamp of P2. It is not according to the process, right? There is already some system which maintains logical ordering. That we have logical class. So that will generate the timestamp. So he is mentioning that part is that only.
But that was the assumption only which we had made.
Like, see, since you covered all the scenarios, I just added one.
Any other points? More suggestions? No. Any process completed in critical section, it has to release. It has to send a release. It's not actually sending one process. Actually, then they split apart the sending of reply. They made it in a sequence.
But sir, compared to everyone, they were the most informative.
Yeah.